Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. Hey, I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering BelAir. This is season 3, episode 5. It's currently streaming on the Peacock Network streaming service every Thursday, and so far we're getting 3 episode drops a week. Now, I don't know how many episodes there's going to be. Ooh, I hope it's more than 10. I'm not counting on it, but I want it to be so bad. I'm enjoying this season, y'all. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, these writers really threw down. I guess the writer strike was good for the BelAir writers because, oh my God, so much relatable stuff is happening on this show. I'm not going to say I'm triggered. It's just I can relate it, and it just pushes a button in me. Trigger can be kind of an overused word sometimes. And it's not so much triggering me where I'm just ready to fall out or whatever. It's just like it does ignite an emotion in me. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please support it by liking this video. And also, if you are not a subscriber, please subscribe to this channel. And you can leave your comments below. All right, so let's get into this episode. All right, so I did not take notes, as I should have. However, possibly the notes are going to be what's going to make this video pretty long, so, hey. So we start off the episode. The Banks children, minus Hillary, added with Will, they are making this big breakfast. It is Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv's wedding anniversary. So, after they make the food, they bring it up to their room. And Aunt Viv is there. She's just waiting. Well, they woke her up. And they're saying happy anniversary. Carlton notices that Uncle Phil's side of the bed is still made up, like he hasn't been there. Then all of a sudden, Uncle Phil comes up. And they ask, well, where you been? Uncle Phil says, well, I was working on a lot of stuff last night, and I did not want to bother your mom, so I slept someplace else. As if nobody knows what's really going on. So, of course, both the parents take the children. They say, we know Hillary, but hey, I think we did pretty good. The children exit. The moment that they shut the door, Phil and Viv start arguing. And the children are listening outside as they are arguing. And all I can think about it is the stuff that went on in my home. It's like, there's nothing that you can do as a child. You feel helpless, but you want the arguing to stop. You want things to be better. Ashley's going to say something later on this episode, but she's saying, I wanted them to stop pretending that everything was fine. I think Ashley has been sensing and seeing a lot that people don't really give her credit for. It may not have been in her best interest to see all this stuff or whatever, but it's made her into the person that she is. And we saw it in her rap, people are just really fake in this family. So let's talk about the real issues. I have to go by memory, so I'm kind of thinking and all this good stuff. Will and also Carlton, they're thinking of a way of how to get rid of their inventory that they have of the t-shirts. By this time, Uncle Phil is downstairs, all that good stuff, and he's saying, we don't want to mess up this actual hookup that we got, and we got to do what we need to do within the week. So they thought of this person, I think his name is Pony Jones, that's at the country club that they work at. We got to get near him and set up some type of event to see if he'll promote it so we can get these shirts sold. Carlton's like, well, that there is no patronizing that can really go on, and that's allowed at the country club. And he was like, I know, but we got to find some type of way to get into him without it looking like it's patronizing. So at the country club, they speak to that one guy that Will started relating with that first was kind of a jackass to them. We'll kind of just let them know these are the rules and you got to follow them. He ended up directing him to, I think her name is Miss Marie. You got to talk to her in order to be around him, or at least have access to get to Pony Jones. So Will and Carlton in their not yet. They go and see Miss Marie. I think her name is Miss Marie. And Will challenges Miss Marie in a pickleball challenge. First, Will wasn't good, but he kind of redeemed himself before the game was over. And Miss Marie said, okay, you guys can be a part of this section here as far as pickleball. You got to stay alert and all this good stuff. So the uniforms over there are like these Beach Boy, like really country club people, where you got like the 3-inch shorts, which we appreciate y'all for allowing that to be shown. I liked it. How did y'all like it? Will sees Jackie. Jackie's blowing him off because it's like, and she has a valid point. You know, while I was being tore into, you didn't even stick up for me because I'm one of your thirsty itches. Really, Will had no words, and Jackie was just kind of over it and said, I'll gotta go. You know, I'm glad that she said her piece because she felt like you didn't stand up for me, and that's not my intentions there. Will could have handled the whole situation a lot better on both sides. I can't say he didn't know what to do because he was acting oblivious to the whole situation. And Carlton's like, you don't see this? Oh, everybody. 2 X's, but when one maybe are together. Let's stop. So we're going to switch over to Vivian. Vivian's at the office, and she is a meeting with Destiny. Destiny is the mural painting person and also the stalker that Hillary pointed out episodes ago. So she's there, and Destiny's going down her resume as to how, and all you basically hear as to her love for Aunt Viv. Aunt Viv is, she got first inspired by Aunt Viv by her painting Sunday's Best. And from there, she just fell in love with it. And she was like, I hope it's not really stalkerish for me to build that mural. Yeah, it is, but it's not coming off that way thus far. But then she ended up saying, you know, Vivian's very taken aback by that and is in admiration that she would, or touch that this girl considers her a role model and also inspiration for her to do what she do. Too bad she didn't have her a couple of seasons ago. Maybe we would have pushed this whole art thing, but however, it's good that Aunt Viv does have ambition to start back into what she was doing and getting up under Uncle Phil's coattail. Well, not so much coattail, being that Stepford dotable wife with nothing really to do. So she asked for a selfie and all this good stuff. Everything looks good thus far. Although you can tell something is bubbling underneath, that we're going to get into some type of stalkerish stuff. Stay tuned to probably the end of the season, whenever that is. Let's see where we're going to go. Uncle Phil and Jeffrey, they talk. Jeffrey says, you know, I'm finding out that Frederick is not where he says he's supposed to be. I'm tracking him on his phone, and he's got this burner phone. And like clockwork, around 12 midnight, he's in the bathroom, and he's talking to someone. Uncle Phil gave the advice, hey, you need to talk with him. And not approach it as Jeffrey, but approach him as a father. I think it's quite cool to see Jeffrey in a different element. He's the one that everyone comes to rescue them out, get advice, da-da-da-da-da. And now everything has switched to where he has to get advice and have to lean on Uncle Phil for certain things. But it's probably the best way, because right now Jeffrey don't know which direction to actually come with Frederick. It's a touchy situation, especially with Frederick knowing that he was adopted out because his father left him and his biological mother destitute, basically. And although he's hearing the story, it's kind of like, okay. It's not really, it's not a quick fix and a quick heal for Frederick. I thought who was on the phone was possibly some of the old, the gang members from back in the day, probably putting him on assignment, but it wasn't. We're going to find out pretty soon what's going on. Okay, so we're going to go back to the country club and talk with Will and Carlton. Will is doing his thing, Carlton's doing his thing, and he has to, he's a waiter, so he has to give champagne and alcohol to the guests. He's getting tempted by that. The anxiety is on his face, and you can see it on his body. Will catches it and says, "Hey, are you okay?" He said, "No, I just need a breather. You want me to come with you?" And he said, "No, I got this." He ended up calling the AA guy, and he talks. I'm loving this Carlton. I'm loving this Carlton. You can see that he wants to make the best effort for his life. Temptations are calling him back, yes. However, he confesses, hey, I got tempted to drinking alcohol. I didn't. It felt like something that's burning inside that I've been yearning for. Also, the counselor was just kind of walking him through, what kind of things are possibly tempting you to do that outside of the temptation itself. Well, hearing my parents argue about me makes me feel like it's my fault that they're having problems in their relationship. Obviously, you're not the only problem in the relationship, Carlton, but you heard it because it's resounding in your head as to what's going on. That's what you heard, and you feel guilty for what transpired a few months ago with you. He said, well, you can't make everyone else your problem. You got to put yourself first, Lucius. And I think the pep talk that he got from the counselor was really needed. The counselor was like, I'm not trying to pry or anything. I just want you to be level-headed and be able to express yourself and be okay even in this moment of temptation. So they left the conversation, and he's in a better place. So kudos to Carlton and kudos to the counselor. We're going to go to Ashley. Ashley has set up to have... before that, Aunt Viv goes into Ashley's room because there's this loud music that's going on. Ashley said that she's trying to hook her speaker up to the earphones that she has, earbuds or whatever she got. But anyway, she's having auditions for her band. How Ashley has set up this band to be it's this serious, deep music as far as this, whomever wants to be a part of this band and how she marketed it. So no one actually came, and her friend was there. Her friend was like, well, you kind of marketed it in a way that probably people weren't really into. It should be fun and all of that. And she's like, well, art, there should be deep meaning to music. Yes, and all that. I think that there should be a balance. I don't think that the friend was totally wrong. Aunt Viv did say that Ashley is her artistic child. She thought that she would go into art as far as painting and all that, but she didn't, and she's expressing in a different way. She's painting with music. That's another form of painting. I don't know anyone that, if you know this, with music, you can see colors as far as when people are singing. Sometimes if you just close your eyes and listen, you can see different things that are going on. Songs can be healing. Songs can be inspirational. Songs can make you get in your feelings. Songs can change your moods for either the better or for the good, or for the bad, or for the good, or for, I'll say the worst. Maybe not the worst, but at least it'll dampen your mood, because a lot of times you do bond with stuff that as to how you're feeling. So yeah, the other friend is kind of, but not really, prying into what's going on. She was trying to relate to Ashley. Hey, my parents divorced over a year ago, and I just want to make sure you're okay. And then Ashley said, my parents aren't divorcing. Like, Ashley, no, they're not. They're divorcing, but you know that there's something up over there. And you got very protective and crazy, and basically you told the girl to leave. Like, ooh, Ashley. Not the person that has been trying to help you out with all of your moods. Let's see. Where we're gonna go now? We're gonna go. On Viv's office. She remembers that but this was a little bit earlier ago. She remembers that she liked the chef's pictures. So guess what? The chef came, bearing gifts again. Basically, he cooked lunch for Aunt Vivian and them to share. And she says, look, she was trying to get out of trying to make him not think that she was liking him. She was like, well, I was talking, my friends were talking. No, I was talking, like, go on and say it. You was attracted to the man. Anyways, they have lunch and all this good stuff. We find out where the cooking come from. He was in the military, and he used to cook for all of the army men, I don't know what you call them, there and all that good stuff. Uncle Phil comes. He comes with flowers, and he wanted to surprise her with some lunch someplace. Vivian looks guilty, and he sees that the lunch is going on. He doesn't pay it no mind like that. He was like, well, no, we don't have to really go out to lunch. I see that you are occupied here. I'm not going. Did he say it then? I'm not going to make a. No, he didn't. A little bit later. It's okay. You enjoy your lunch that you have here. He meets with the chef again and all that good stuff, and he goes. And at this point, Viv is feeling uncomfortable. I don't know how far this chef is going to go, but chef, there's not 1 ounce of morsel in his body that's saying, "Ooh, I don't think I should really go there." But no, he's going full-fledged into this whole situation. And I'm like, okay, watch yourself, sir. Back at the country club, we're about to see Will. Pony Jones came out. Everyone was around him, and Will was about to get his shirt to go present it to Pony Jones. At the same time, Jackie's having an issue. One of the guys wanted to be driven someplace. He looked kind of drunk-ish or whatever. However, Jackie was like, I have someone else that I gotta take care of. Then he started harassing her, and I think either dropped his money. I think he did it on purpose for her to go pick it up, and then he's looking at her booty. And Jackie got up, and she was ready to snap. Will hears it. He goes over there and basically was about to tussle with the dude. Miss Marie comes over there and says, "Hey, what's going on?" Da 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 da. And the guy ends up leaving or whatever. Miss Marie gets into Will's tail a little bit because of, look, you can't do that to the guest. And he's like, seriously? I'm not the one that did anything to him. He came and did something to her. And she said, you should come find me and I can handle it. It's like in the end, Miss Marie was somewhat in their corner, but it's like you're too busy trying to be, what is the word? Trying to tend to these guests and kiss up to them when they're the ones that are being quite trifling. So Will she says, go cool yourself off right now. And he goes and does that. And she asks Jackie, how you doing? Da, 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 da. Aunt Viv comes home, goes up to their room, and Uncle Phil has this red dress and all this good stuff, blah, 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 blah. And he just wants to forget everything. And let's just have time together. Aunt Viv was like, look, you're doing all the right things, but everything is just so wrong because we keep trying to cover everything. My God. In this next scene, so they have dinner. And both Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil just lay it out on the table through the prompting of Viv as to what was going on. Uncle Phil finally admits that he was attracted to Erica. He felt sexy. He felt everything that he wanted to be feeling. He felt neglected and all that good stuff. Viv also said that about how she felt with the chef. She felt wanted. She felt all these things. And she says that when things go awry in the Banks home, our marriage is the first thing to get hit. We're not a strong unit, and we let that slide to try to handle everything else. And I think they made a recommitment to themselves to not be this way and make sure that we check in with each other. Like, I just love the whole truth thing. It was just Ashley. I'm telling you, Ashley was a secret weapon. She was the foreshadowing type of figure in speaking. Like, we gotta quit pretending that everything is okay, because it's not okay. Before we get to the ending, Carlton and Ashley, they finally talk. I'm so glad for this. Ashley's waiting outside the door, and I think she was expecting for her parents to be arguing or whatever. Carlton sees them. Wait, before we get there. Carlton comes home. Is it then? Yes. He finds that his doors are back on, and it's quite a relief for him. He comes back out into the hallway area near his parents' bedroom and sees Ashley there. And he was like, well, they're not there right now and all this good stuff. Him and Ashley finally just talk a little bit. Not so much about what has happened, but Ashley's finally letting Carlton back in. I said, praise God. I think Ashley had every right to just keep him on ice, because that was quite a offensive thing that Carlton did do to Ashley on last season. We find out that they came up with this plan, and they set up this projector that is going to be in the downstairs entryway foyer area. After Phil and Viv kind of recommit themselves to each other, they come home. They see the slide of all their wedding pictures. We see Uncle Phil with hair and all this good stuff. So they dance to Tony, Tony, Tone. Do you know what today is? It's your anniversary. Yeah, your anniversary. It's your anniversary. Yeah, that song. So they do that. Da 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 da. And they finally kiss and just happy. And Carlton and Ashley, they kind of, we did that type of thing. Jeffrey follows Frederick to where he's at. And because Frederick said he was going someplace else, but still Jeffrey was able to follow him, and he's asking him, questioning him about, okay, so what's going on? And Frederick was like, I promised them I wouldn't do it. Well, he said, well, I'm just going to follow you, and I don't want you to break your promise. So we see him go to this hotel room, and we see it's this woman named Penelope, Jeffrey's ex, who is also the biological mom of Frederick. So she's been in town and contact Jeffrey or nothing. So Penelope found out that Jeffrey's still in danger and all this good stuff. They have this heated confrontation, and Jeffrey's like, no, you need to really leave right now. Like, this isn't a really safe place for you to be, blah, 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 blah. Penelope ended up agreeing to do that. However, it's going to cost Jeffrey. Later on in the episode, Frederick decides to pack up and leave. Because he said, well, if my mom has to leave, then I have to leave too. And it all has to deal with, I think he feels closer to his mom because his mom didn't, quote unquote, betray him because of the stuff. He puts more of the blame on Jeffrey, which is cool. I think that's just how he feels or whatever. So right now, he's losing Frederick. Will, back at the country club, was trying to still cool down. Then he talks with the guy from the country club, and they kind of relate in a way. The end result is that, he was kind of missing his mom. We find, did he say it then? I don't know for sure. However, we will see that in just a second. Anyways, Jackie set it up for Will to meet Pony Jones. And she said, you got 2 minutes. Go over there. And he takes that moment. He introduces Black Cess and gives him a hoodie. And we find out that he's very interested in it. Pony Jones is. And he ends up advertising on his social media. Back at home, Will is going through the box with Lou in it, that Lou gave. And you see the basketball that Lou had and this old picture of Lou and Mama Vi. So then he texts Mama Vi and says, I need you to come to LA. I said, Lord, what's happening now? It's good to see her. It's been a while since we've seen her. That was the end of the episode. It was very relatable in so many ways. Who knew I would be able to relate to the Banks children of all families? My God, hopefully you guys maybe can see yourselves in there. You may not, your story's not my story and all that good stuff. But I was like, okay, y'all really giving me the feels and allowing me to see myself through you guys. Through this dramatization of The Fresh Prince of BelAir. I enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you thought of it. Are you glad that Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv hashed it out and is back on the right track? It's like their marriage was in trouble, but it didn't need to be in trouble if they would have just talked a lot of things out. And now that they're finally being truthful with each other, now they can reconnect. Now it looks like Aunt Viv is ready to give up the cookies. All right, but I'm going to come to you tomorrow with episode 6. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for sitting with me for a little while. This is still a long video, even without any notes, so I guess it didn't even matter. But I appreciate everyone. Please like this video and also subscribe to my channel. Again, leave your comments below, and until the next video, peace.